Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to PCM20 Women's Tour, episode 33. We open with an 800-meter climbing prologue here for Ariana Mamalenti currently. Still trying to find that happy zone of effort. I think we might have it dialed in at about an 89 now. We previously went for a 90, didn't work, not quite there. 88, had a little bit left in the tank, so yeah, probably an 89 now. Seems to be about the time you need. Sobi, so far, 4th place. She had a ton of energy left as we started. We started in the low 70s on her effort level, but didn't realize how short this prologue was until we got part way into it. And was like, oh, okay, yeah, you really don't need much energy, but you've got to have some, otherwise you just lose a ton of time real fast on this one. This is our penultimate objective of the season. Top 3, so it's a big one. A couple stars, so it's not major, but it could have an impact. Now we have a 100% evaluation.
The riders are going through a very tough portion with percentages above 10%.
Snow begins to fall. That could slow things down a little bit. If that starts to stick, you can see that 89 is just about making it. And Donadin's going to cross line 11. Ooh. 16 seconds down. Surprised she's that far back. I'm going to go with the 88 for Bravich, as she's not as good of a climber here. As we go up 13%. She'll have just a little bit left in the tank for a little push. No, that was it. 88 was perfect. Vanderpeet with a 78 mountain today. What can she do? Even at an 89, she's got tons left in the tank. We're going 99 all the way. Come on, Vanderpeet. Come on, Vanderpeet. Oh, 12 seconds down. Yikes. How did that happen? I don't see how Sobi, who didn't have any sort of bonuses and finished with the same amount of energy that Vanderpeet had, how there's only 2-second difference between them. Trying to catch up on a near 5-minute breakaway for the top 10 riders who have gone away today. We've got it down under 2 minutes with 35 kilometers left to go here on stage number 4. This is a punchy finish following 2 sprint stages. We've got a little rise that we're entering right now. Once we get through that, it's a gentle downhill slope until we go into a very, very steep, punchy finish. And the chase, pulling back that 3.5, now 4 minutes, has done a ton of damage to the field. Those early climbs did nothing. We were very much on cruise control, but the last 25-30 kilometers has been such a hard chase that you could see everyone, including Vanderpeet, are struggling quite a bit. So we're looking at a very different outcome right now for the end of this stage than was expected, where I kind of saw most everyone at full or close to full energy as we go to hit the climb, and now we're looking at one rider, just one on the entire team in that kind of position. A couple of the breakaway riders have been cut. The others are now holding at 45 seconds ahead and back together as they were split up. So we have sat up just a little bit, but now 15k to go. We're going to set up our sprint train very soon. Mamalenti needs her gel right now, and then Marie will also gel up,
as pacemakers for the pack.
We will
They
set this up
obviously
at
don't
about
have
10 to
anybody in the
go.
breakaway group.
That should be enough time to
10
get
kilometers
lined
remaining.
up. All right, there we go. Vanderpeet. So Mamalenti is our punchiest rider, but she's on a -5, and she wasn't even protecting another rider. I was just saving her, and she already has no energy, so she's not even going to participate. Toby also on a -3, so our top 2 support riders compared to our top 2 riders, both having really bad days. That does hurt our chances quite a bit on what we might end up doing, but we'll get on with it. So Cynthia Marie instantly gets blocked off by the rider going backwards. Mamalenti is
The pack is back on level
just
terms
hanging
with
in
the
place
breakaway
and
group.
struggling. There we go. Breakaway is done, and we are starting to emerge out front. Just slightly anyway. There we go. Starting to pull clear. There's Bravich. There's Sobi. Okay. All in place. 5K to go.
There are just
So
5
next
kilometers
gel.
left.
Marie is done. On to Bravich. 4K to go. Time for that first gel and time for that last gel.
It's in
and
such
away
percentages
we go.
that the strongest can create
Bravich.
some gaps.
Bravich is not going to last long. We need to keep this pressure high, so maybe 97. Today is mostly about GC, considering we don't have the punchiness. Sobi looks like she's going to fade as well, so we're going to go right on to Donadin, pulling out for Vanderpeet. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
The fast
Vanderpeet,
pace at the
where'd
front
you
is
go?
too much for several riders.
Vanderpeet loses the wheel. That's not good. Just going to have to keep moving along. Donadin. Maybe we're now riding for Donadin and not Vanderpeet. 500 meters.
The sprint is on. The riders are setting themselves up.
Here comes somebody who is punchy. No, they're not getting there. Vanderpeet is still just struggling to try to keep up. Alessio. That's the one I wanted to sign. That's one I've been wanting to sign for quite a while. She's going to take the win.
Splendid solo win and a well-deserved
But Donadin
one.
does grab third place, so she'll grab 4 seconds bonus. And we have what looks like maybe a group of 30 that are going to end up on same time, and then we'll start seeing some splits. It's apparently over a minute to the next group, but there's not much of a gap here. Alright, there's your
We're
top
waiting
20
for the
finally.
tail-enders who continue
It's
to
hard to see
arrive.
where the gaps might show up. There could be, should be. It is punchy. It was steep. But how and where those gaps are, I don't know. More gaps, the better. Vanderpeet was 10th. They both should be fine at
And
the
here
top.
are the race highlights that we've selected for you.
Vanderpeet lost Donadin's wheel, so that did hurt. And oof, time gaps right at the very top. Camellia, Alessio ends up getting an 11-second gap. Brockhouse gets a 5-second gap. Donadin gets a 4-second gap. So that top end was a little more spread out. Then we get a group at 20. We get a group at 29, and then a group at 41. That does impact the GC quite a bit. Going with that stage 1 prologue, we now look like this. Still not too good, actually. Vanderpeet is 10th at 43 seconds down. Donadin is just 17th at a minute behind, as Donadin did not put together a great stage 1. A great stage 4 for her didn't help much, and Vanderpeet was mediocre on that stage as she lost the wheel. Stage 5 is where the real climbing begins, and looking at a pretty difficult finish on this one. The breakaway of 16 riders, their gap slowly coming down. It's at 2.5 minutes. That's just about close enough now that there shouldn't be any threats in there to the stage. And now with 50 kilometers to go, we'll go ahead and do our last grab of water on the day. Bravich doing that. She's already out of red bar though, as she was a little quick to get the water compared to what I expected. So going to do a little damage to get back up here, but she should still be able to finish the task. Just about, maybe. Come on, downhill. Not really recovering and going backwards. Everybody else outrode her during that little section, and so now she has to make up that ground yet again. Marie, last one on the water. Okay, she made it. She made it, just.
A couple of teams have set themselves
That
up
did
as
do some
pacemakers
damage.
for the
We'll go ahead
pack.
and have
They
her
obviously don't have anybody in
take
the
her
breakaway
gel
group.
now. Also, we need to speed up to get everyone back near the front. All right, so 100 in the peloton. Only a single rider has been dropped so far. 2 riders are broken off from the front group. The gap's down to 2 minutes now. That's still out there a little ways, but this is a much bigger climb than the previous. I mean, we just went under 29 kilometers, and we're not far from the climb now. So
They're moving along at a fair lick.
3-4 times the size of the last climb on the previous stage. So definitely not the day for the punchers. This is very much a pure climber's day. So Vanderpeet, almost full energy as we hit the base. Donatin on a -3 today. That does hurt. Sobi is looking actually much the stronger. Mamalenti as well, even though Mamalenti is more of a puncher. That +4 giving her a huge boost. She's the only one seeing much of a boost today at all. At least Vanderpeet's on a +1. Today we try to move up the order from 10th place, see if we can get into the top 5 anyway, but I'm not sure that we're looking at a top kind of finish on a stage like this one. Alright, we are starting to climb. Let's go ahead and set this to 85 now, and we'll check in. Bravich going backwards very, very quickly. We'll go ahead and just set her to auto now. She was protecting Vanderpeet, so we need new support, and that's going to be Mamalenti. Somehow Vanderpeet is our furthest down the order at the moment. Not exactly where I want her to be. And she seems very content in this position, actually. Not very content with her in this position. We're going to raise that heart rate just a little bit. Just keep an eye on the heart rate. We don't want it to raise too much to where she's going to lose out a bit, but I want her further up. There we go. That's a much better position. Sobi is still close and doing okay. Donatin now has dropped back quite a bit, but also struggling. Look how much she is struggling today. Let's do a swap here, Marie. Protect Sobi.
And now we're into the final climb. The riders
go ahead
know there
and
are
get
pretty ladies
behind
at the top.
Vanderpeet. You're going to go into protection mode soon, even though she's 17th overall. Finished 3rd on that previous stage. It's just not coming together. Sobi has dropped back a little bit. Down to 63, and we're really just hitting the pure climb. I mean, we went through that little nub in there, and now it's just straight pure climbing for the next, well,
and they keep on
1 kilometer back from here, but 15K straight up. 9% roughly throughout. I mean, this is pretty massive. Sobi, you have dropped back a little too far. Let's try to improve your position again. Get you up there. Marie, go ahead and use your gel. Looks like Donatin actually might be out of commission before Mamalenti.
And he spurts away from the group. He's going for victory. The breakaway is not to everybody's liking. The peloton has significantly increased its speed.
Okay, Sobi, that's where I want you. And Donatin is going to end up swapping here now to protect. Because Marie is done, she's going to be going backwards. Still 59 riders here, but we have picked up a couple of those breakaway riders. And we're seeing a little acceleration. But I don't think that's an attempted break. I think they're just trying to lead the charge here.
Things are hotting up at the front!
Donatin, gel. Mamalenti's going to need her gel soon.
The riders are entering the last 10 kilometers of the stage.
Looks like Sobi's definitely going to be our last one here. Thought I set you to auto already, but did not apparently. Mamalenti gel up now. Maybe we do a 3-person train here shortly and start pushing tempo, but it's, you know, it's still 9 kilometers. Down to 49.
And he moves on to the attack. It could be decisive.
I think that's an attack coming. Let's respond. With Mamalenti, not Donatin. 85 sounds good to me. Sobi, come on, Sobi. Sobi was right there. One rider to go around, and she had tons of room either direction. And she's still not getting there. Back off. Sobi is wasting a ton of energy to try to cover this down. All because she couldn't find a little bit of open space when she had a ton of open space. I get it, there was a single rider in front of her, but that gap was massive.
Watch out, a team leader is falling behind.
Now she's going to have to gel up, and we're still 7.5K away. Okay, on to her turn, and now we're seeing that attack from Labu. Alessio, Kozak trying to have a go. We're down to a group of 9 chasing that group of 3. So we actually are in a pretty strong spot here, but Mamalenti's been dropped. Donadin's been dropped. Stigger is going out the back. Yes. Vanderheiden won't last long like that. Van Giem, Rodriguez. I don't see why Chaby or Brockhouse would be dropped, but we're looking at a very small group. Kozaks. Okay, you can see why they're all there, though they are strong climbers. Vanderpeet is going to be on her own very soon. If Sobi can cover that gap, get us back up to Kozak anyway. That is the top 2 going away, but
only
we
5
need
kilometers
a top
left.
3. That's Brockhouse. Right now we're sitting in potentially 4th, and there are 3 riders in this group. Can we relay? Will you relay with me? Okay, Sobi on auto. Rodriguez is the other one with Chaby. Very strong climbers. Vanderpeet's only a 75 on base, so she is definitely a step below this group around us. So we're already doing good just to be here. Still 3.3. We can't go too hard. That's all 3 of them together. We're not far behind. Alessio going backwards. 2.7.
And there's an attack at the front.
And
He
now
could
there's
go
just
all the
2 of
way.
us. Rodriguez has been dropped. We catch Alessio. So now there's 2 riders away. So we still have a chance at a top 3. I'm not getting some support here, though. Let's force Alessio to work.
The riders are going
Riding
through
for
a very
3rd
tough
place right
portion
now.
with percentages
We're low
above
on energy,
10%.
so I really cannot push. They're going to open that gap at the top. They are the top 2, by the way. The breakaway's all been caught now. 1.4K. Save a little bit and see if we can take 3rd. Labu is losing a ton of time here. She's out of energy. 900 meters. 800 meters, 700, 600, and now we're going to start to try to inch forward, and then let's see if we can break off. Can we ditch these 2 and ride for 3rd place? 300 meters.
This was a great day for him.
We do.
Nobody could keep
We
up with
open
him.
the gap, and now we push the rest of the way. 3rd place.
We're
3rd
waiting
place
for
is
the
good,
back markers
and
who
we
appear to be
opened a
fairly
gap
numerous
to
in this
4th and
difficult
5th, so we
race.
should comfortably be 3rd place following that. Alessio took 4th. Cheby took 5th. They are both 78, 79 climbers. Vanderpeet, a 75, was able to beat them. Rodriguez, a similar rider, took 6th. Sobi took 14th. Mamalenti took 15th. Donadin, nowhere to be seen. Well outside of the top 20, 28th. Bad day for her, but she had that -3. Big gaps. We're going to see a total readjustment of the GC now. Alessio still ahead of us, though, in the standings, so we move up into 4th place. And with a top 3 necessary, a top 5 is okay. A top 5 is certainly okay. That was a big ask. There was definitely a 6 or 7 significantly stronger climbers than Vanderpeet. She's just inside top 10 in terms of quality and did not have an amazing race day condition and did not have amazing support. Mamalenti was the one who had the really good race day condition, but she's a puncher, not a climber. The fact that Mamalenti did what she did was good. Sobi, Donadin weren't as much help as we would normally receive. So all things considered, being in 4th place right now, after that stage, after that setup, I'm very happy with that. Stage 6 is a somewhat shorter stage with a somewhat shorter climb, but very much the same outcome as expected. However, massive news has just occurred in the last about 5 kilometers. See how there's only 45 in the peloton and there's a chase group of 55 with a growing gap? We're not even pushing that hard. And I haven't certainly pushed things out, but that gap is getting massive. Now, contained in that group are some key players. Labu is there. Nikolic was one of the top 10 on the previous stage. Maus is one of the better climbers, though we haven't really seen in this race. I don't know about Ragusa, but there's one of your top 3. She was 3rd on the previous stage, I think. So we were 3rd. She was 2nd. She was 2nd on the previous stage. So major development, and I expected them to immediately get back into the group, but they're not. The gap is really going out. So it looks like it's now holding at about 2.5, but we're only a minute away from the breakaway group, and we're not really pulling them back as we approach the climb. So big day ahead of us. They absolutely still have a chance to kind of get back up to us during the climb itself, but I feel like it's time to try to do something because they had their chance to get back. We didn't turn the screw. So what do we do now? Well, actually, you're seeing some fatigue setting in, so maybe, just maybe, we are kind of pushing and going for it. I haven't seen a push until literally just now, but Mamalenti is really off today, so she's not going to be the same rider she was a day ago, and let's get her moving forward. Set ourselves up for the climb. We'll do this one differently than before and see how it goes. But our chances in the GC getting a top finish just went up a lot. Like I said, this climb is not quite as bad as that last one, but it's going to be very similar. Breakaway groups starting to fall apart. Behind us, gaps are still quite large. I mean, we've got one rider off the back who is expanding at 50 seconds, and then there's 3 behind that, and then you don't see anything until that next group. So I have a feeling we could be in for a bit of a shakeup in that top 10 now. Okay, on to Marie. We're not trying to push too hard here. And again, I wasn't the one who turned this screw and opened that gap. The gap's already opened. I'm now trying to take advantage of it, of the situation, of a small peloton. But we're not pushing hard. I mean, we're pushing at an 82. $18K, and we're starting to turn and go uphill, but 2.8, it's still flat rating for now until you get over that 3. We'll use Bravic's gel now. We are in position this time. We're already down to just that handful of riders, so we definitely can't push too hard, too fast on this one. Mamalenti's already been dropped from the group, just 40 left. 40 left in the peloton as we hit the only climb of the day. That's pretty crazy. Maria's done, so we need to move on to Bravic now. Bravic is not much of a climber, so Bravic needs to go a little harder if we are going to stay anywhere near the front. And then we'll be
the riders are
a
entering
3-climber group.
of the stage.
15K to go. We brought back one more rider. Gap's holding at a minute. Bravic not fast, but we're okay on that tempo right now. Bravic is ready to respond and accelerate and bury herself quite quickly when necessary. For now, we're just going to kind of hold on. Marie's been dropped. And here's the group of 40 chasing, so they are covering that gap off. They're back within a minute. In fact, we're just seeing Labu doing the chase herself. There's Maus. No surprise, there's those top climbers coming, try to get back up here. So it is time for an acceleration. if it stays difficult for her, she's not going to have much left in the tank for later on. Just over a minute behind, almost a minute and a half. Ravitch is done. On to Donadin. Donadin gel. 12K to go. Flattens out a little bit here. Our group is shrinking. Ravitch is going to go out the back here in just a moment. Down to 28 in the peloton. And those gaps behind, I don't think they were going to have covered it off. Donadin, what the heck, Donadin? Already?
The riders are entering the last 10 kilometers of the
10K
stage.
to go. And she's already out of energy. Just about to reel in the rest of the breakaway group. 9K to go. And repeat, don't lose the wheel.
Wow, that's one attack that's going to leave a good few in its wake.
You know what? Let's just change this up. We only have two riders, and I don't know why Vanderpeet's suddenly dropping backwards though from that, unless there's that many riders at the front trying to work. 22 in the peloton, just 2 left off the front, and they've nearly been caught now. Just 1 rider left. 7K to go. Sobi already? Dang. Okay, here comes the big move. Kozak, Alessio, Brockhaus. That's the other competitors, but we can't attack like that. We don't have that kind of strength, that kind of energy. 9 chasing 3. What were the time gaps to these? 4:37. What is our time gap? One and a half. So we've got a 3-minute advantage over Kozak. Brockhaus is the leader. Alessio's the other one. If we can stay, we're third place. It's not us who needs to be chasing here. I want you to take position here.
Remaining.
Just hang on to Chobi. I said hang on to Toby, idiot.
Falling behind. A team leader is falling behind.
That's why I don't use those very often at all. Because now with 4K to go,
And they keep on attacking.
we are
Anyone
sitting
that's low on
in
gas definitely
virtually
won't
4th
be
place
able to
again.
keep up.
And we don't have any energy to chase. 3K to go. We've recovered slightly somehow. But 4 ahead of us by a minute, and 3 of them are in the top 4 overall. So we're again looking at 1 spot outside of the top 3. 1K to go. We'll have a little bit for that final push. Now onto the banner. But again, not enough right now to make any sort of early push.
And
It's
there
out to a
goes the
minute and a
mad
half.
burst for the final sprint.
All right, here we go. 600 meters.
Superb
600
sprint
meters. Can't
victory.
push too
He
hard
was the
here.
strongest at the last.
Brockhaus takes the stage. Chebi second. Kozak,
This
Alessio.
climb features some dreadful percentages.
Final push. Stigger just ahead of us. We don't need to worry about Stigger in the GC, I don't think. Though, certainly close. I think we had enough of a gap that a few seconds behind doesn't hurt. We're still top 4, but it's right on Chebi's wheel. Take position here. If Chebi accelerates, we should have accelerated with Chebi. But all of a sudden, she had 3 bike lengths over us, and we weren't able to come back. Chebi was a 79 mountain or something like that, so she's definitely a stronger climber than we are. Vanderpeet had a good condition. She's only a 75, but today she was a 78. She should have been able to stay with Chebi, but Chebi did that little attack, and even though it was set to stay on her wheel, we don't, and that's why I don't like that mechanic, because it doesn't work. Okay, she attacked. But why wouldn't, if the assignment is to keep her wheel, why wouldn't you try to keep her wheel? Anyway, okay. 6th on the stage. Sobi 17th. Donadin 32nd.
And here are the key moments of the race.
I think we will still be 4th place, though, after all this. We move up a spot, we move down a spot. Minute 48, 10-second gap to Stigger. Seems a bit much, but yes, we do stay 4th place. Chebi moves ahead of us, gaining that minute and a half. It's very close. We were only a few seconds ahead of her. Alessio Brockhouse still in the lead. Kozak, Rodriguez, Stigger. Labu drops all the way to 8th place. Lost a ton of time from that crash. And that took her out of this thing. Sobi was 14th. Donadin 23rd. It's a top 5. Top 5 is good. On paper, we shouldn't be that high even. So, hasn't been bad. 1 stage remains. Well, and a sprint. With large gaps in front and behind us in the standings, this short, punchy finish is not going to impact the GC, at least not for us. We should finish 4th place quite comfortably, but we still need to get to that finish line. So with 14K to go, we're going to go ahead and set up a sprint train and go for it. Of course, we ride for Vanderpeet, not a -3 Mamalenti, who is the punchy one. Donadin finally has a good race day condition for the first time all race. Looks like we're going to stick to the signboards here on the right-hand side of the road, which works. There is some space there. I didn't think there was, but Bravich, good awareness, and we go clear already. Now inside 11K to go. But the leading rider tries to steal our position. We're getting a few riders out front, but it's hard to get and stay there, especially Donadin right now is well behind. Positionally where we want to be heading into this. Okay, let's get Marie ready. Okay, do your worst. Keep it up 7K. She still has some energy overall. And her 99 without red bar is still pretty good. Coming up 6K to go. Already coming up on the base. Let's get things moving, Marie. Bravich, try to get on the back and break toe.
The escapees have surrendered. The pack gave them no chance.
All right, Marie. We're going to switch to Mamalenti soon. We do not want her 99 because she is still, even without resistance today, still very punchy compared to her teammates. 3K to go. Let's see how much it hurt Sobi to try to go that quick. 2.8K. Seeing one rider emerge. Kolich. Alright, on to Donadin, Vanderpeet. Vanderpeet loses the wheel slightly. Donadin's good race day condition. Does a little bit of damage on that one, 1.4K. Vanderpeet should just about be able to hang on to Donadin's wheel as we approach the finish. 500 meters.
And they're off. It's going to be very fast.
Somebody is flying at the moment. Fading right before the line, but I think it'll be enough to hang on for the win.
He really had to fight for that one.
Labu takes 2nd. Brockhouse grabs 3rd. They're just too strong. Alessio up there in 5th. Donadin's going to get 6th there. That actually might be about a 10-second time gap there. Vanderpeet takes 8th for the stage. There's Stigger, Rodriguez up there. Chebi all the way down in 20th. Might lose a little bit of time, but like I said, time gaps should not impact the GC because the gaps were much too large.
And here are a few of the key moments.
So a quick programming note. My long-awaited and at least I'm super excited for my Zwift series. As I try to get myself back in shape. I'm not in terrible shape or anything. I play soccer twice a week. I've been on my standalone indoor trainer for years, usually about an hour and a half to 2 hours a week. isn't a lot, but I do get exercise. But I also live in the U.S., and we notoriously have a major obesity problem in the U.S., and while I'm not full-on obese, I'm also not fit. So, at least not the way I would like to be. That series is starting up next week, so I have a couple of series that are going to drop a single episode to help make room for that, which will come out 3 days a week: Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. So my Thursday episodes of this series, the Women's Tour, are going to be no more. It's going to be down to just one episode per week every Sunday. I'm going to try to make those episodes a little bit longer, 35 to 40 minutes on an average instead of the normal half hour. So the content won't drop by too much, but it'll be down to one per week. We do lose that little bit of time, 10 seconds. But that next group does not get split, even though there was definite gaps in there, but okay. Surprised that this gap is given, but these gaps are not. It happens. All right, well, there it is. 4th place, Vanderpeet, 1 position off from where we needed to be, but honestly, a good result considering the competitive level of those around us, their quality. We don't know that they didn't have positive race day conditions as well. Our nice race day condition on a couple occasions nearly matched them, but still not quite. And so, yeah, 4th is good. 4th is good. I think it certainly could have been better, but also could have been significantly worse. I think guaranteed we would have been top 10, but getting 4th place, good result. That does it for this one. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to hit that like button. I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there, and bye for now.